I want to show each of you what's been sent to me. Apparently, Trump is still trying to raise money, and it works like this. He's sent out to all these people who've registered as supporters a clip that he's going to show at the Super Bowl. He's bought a couple of ads. They cost multi-millions of dollars, the Super Bowl being played Monday morning our time, and I think ESPN is showing that on the Foxtel platform. But this ad, he said, you know, if you want to help me get re-elected, if you put $5 down, I'll triple the 5 and make it 20, stuff like that. That's the kind of grassroots fundraising that Donald J. Trump is doing. Have a look at the ad. It puts a chill up my spine. See what you think.
America demanded change.
Donald Trump wins the presidency.
And change is what we got. Under President Trump, America is stronger, safer, and more prosperous than ever before.
Best wage growth I think we've seen in almost a decade. Unemployment rate sinking to a 49-year low.
Unemployment for African Americans, it fell to a new low.
Unemployment for Hispanics hit an all-time record low.
And ladies and gentlemen, the best is yet to come.
And Donald J. Trump authorised that ad. It's pretty compelling, Caro, to know that America is somewhat great again, despite all of the noise of what's going on in Washington. People around America seem to be pretty happy with this bloke.
That's it, Gary. And you know, you look at that ad, and that's actually what's happened. I mean, they said that he was going to get in and that he was going to run the economy into the ground. The economy's looking great, and those unemployment figures are just next level. Now, it's really, really difficult to argue against that for the average American who's got a bit more money in their pockets, or that average American who's either got a job or is getting extra hours. You can't argue against that. And that's why I think the Democrats have gone so hard with impeachment, and they've gone so hard with trying to belittle him, because they know that they can't argue against that.
But it seems to me, Daisy, that the harder they try and throw the impeachment mud, the more that people all around America are just sponging it off Donald J. Trump and saying, keep going, mate, keep going. You're getting us results.
Well, yeah, and the reason for that is that, one, it is blatantly obvious that Nancy Pelosi she pushed this through knowing full well that there was really the most minuscule of chances that Trump could actually be removed from office, because when it goes to a trial in the Senate, you need a 2/3 supermajority in order to have an official removed from office, and the Republicans have the majority in the Senate anyway, so you need something like 20 Democrats to flip, which is just not going to happen. So everyone
20 Republicans.
Well, 20 Republicans, sorry, yeah. Thank you, to flip. Now, everyone knew that wasn't going to happen. And the second thing is, America is a country with an awful lot of problems. They have problems with their healthcare system. They have huge problems with poverty. I mean, I was over there recently, and the class divide between the rich and the poor is just absolutely nuts. The Democrats, the party of people who claim to be sticking up for the little guy and solving problems with healthcare, etc., this is what they're choosing to focus on, this political theater, which is not going to have any kind of outcome other than to waste time and money, etc., This is what they're choosing to focus on. I mean, it's been extremely revealing that the Democrats, they don't actually care about the little people. They despise the working class, let's be real, because they voted largely for Donald Trump. All they care about is power, and the reason for this is that they have never, ever accepted the result of the 2016 election. They've tried to delegitimize it. They've screamed about Russia. They've screamed about the Steele dossier. Now it's this bogus impeachment with not even any kind of crime put up as an impeachment offense. So they, I think, are running themselves into the ground, and I think there is certainly hope for Trump at this year's election. Fingers crossed.
Well, I mean, Caleb Bond, it's back against trust. It shows me that Trump is trusting the people to work it all out. You know, whether he wins or loses, again, I don't get a vote in it, but it still strikes me that he said, I was going to do this, this and this, and he has, and the more they keep throwing the mud, the more it confirms to everybody who voted for him that he must have done the right thing. They must have done the right thing by voting for him.
This is precisely the point. I mean, once again, we're talking about Boris Johnson. This is a leader who said, I'm going to do this, and he actually did it. As an average American, you look at the economy motoring along, you look at employment doing well, particularly for African Americans, who for a long time have had terrible unemployment. Their unemployment rate is better than it has ever been. Meanwhile, you have Democrats trying to discredit Trump. They're not actually engaging in the arguments he's having. They're trying to discredit him. And what they don't realise is that in doing that, the Democrats, sure, they galvanise their supporters, but they put any possible swing voters offside because they go, well, if they think Trump is that bad, that all they can do is sling mud without engaging in any kind of argument that is going to convince me of who they want me to vote for, they go straight back to Trump. So they are unknowingly galvanising his supporters for him. He doesn't really have to do much. He just has to sit back and allow Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders to argue with each other on stage about whether or not Sanders ever said that a woman couldn't be president. And he just sits there and watch it all implode, and in comes another round of presidency.